When my baby was first born, I felt immediately bonded to her. I think she was just so tiny and precious, and that feeling continued even when I became ill. So when I was ill, I felt that she was very special and she was going to have a really important part to play in the world. But as the illness increased, that began to become sort of more detached from reality. But even when I was in hospital, she could come and visit me every day, and she still felt very much part of my life.
When I was ill, I remember being very protective about my baby, and in fact I was first sectioned voluntarily when I put her in a cupboard to protect her from the family dog. So all the way through I remember wanting to protect her and feeling really close and very huge bond of love to her.
When Jessica was born, I was unable to bond with her at all. And I was very irrational and said a lot of strange things to the midwife and the health visitor. I used to say things like, the baby's really angry with me and the baby hates me. She knows I'm not able to bond with her, and she's aware of it. I was also very confused all the time. Sometimes I'd come down and almost forget I'd had her. She'd be on the settee and I'd be shocked, oh, I've had a baby. And just things like making up feeds I found very difficult because my mind was racing that much. I couldn't trust myself to make up feeds and measure out dried milk. And really I had no bond at all. I didn't want to hurt Jessica, but I totally rejected her. I would have been quite happy should someone have taken her away. In my deluded, irrational state of mind, I thought if the baby goes, I'll feel better. I'll be like I was before the birth, and that wasn't the case. But in my rational thinking at that time, that's why I was saying to people, please take her away. I can't do this.
I just felt completely rootless when I was separated from her. That's like a week that doesn't exist, and something that, in a way, I still feel. Photographs were taken of her during the week I didn't have her, and I still find those quite painful to look at. I mean, I would rather, missing that bit of her life was much more damaging. I didn't need to know what she looked like, I just needed her back.
Well, the relationship at the time, in the midst of the illness, was like I say, an afterthought really. She was there. I could do certain things, but I couldn't do everything for her. I just wasn't capable. You know, there was more important things to be doing than looking after my baby. My mind was controlling me, and you know, she was not the top of the list.
I was fiercely protective of him at that time, but I couldn't focus. I needed help with the practical things. The main focus was survival myself. Yeah, definitely. But further on, into the depression stage, I was like a zombie, emotionless. I couldn't go out of the house. So obviously bonding was, again, it was really difficult, very, very difficult. And it's really hard for a mother to admit that, the guilt that you feel for feeling that way, because mums aren't supposed to feel that way.
My relationship now with my daughter is great, actually. She's really good fun. She's 8 years old. It's a really lovely age. We make each other laugh. It's good fun.
My daughter's now 7, and we just have a great relationship. I feel we have a very open relationship, and we can talk about mental health. She knows that Mummy was poorly when she was born, but we just have a really normal, fun mother and daughter time. We can joke together, laugh together. She tells me all about her school day, and it just feels very normal.
She was totally unaware of it, but it was something that we built into the family narrative when she was old enough to talk about it initially as this rather bizarre experience of how her early life had been. And later, as she had the knowledge and the biological expertise to want to know about it, much more about the condition, which I only wish I'd heard of before I'd had it.
You know, you do miss that time, you know, those very first few weeks and months are very hard to remember. And I think now I'm trying to make up for that and give her everything, which is probably wrong as well.
Now, we've got such a close bond. It's very, very special. I think it happens naturally anyway. It's just having been so ill, it just took a lot longer. But it's there. It's, yeah, more so in a way because of the tough start we had.
No, well, I would say from Jess reaching about 8 months onwards, when the postpartum psychosis started to turn around, there was you know, improvement in the illness. I started to notice Jess's funny ways, how cute she was, and I really gradually bonded with her. It wasn't something overnight that I was so ill and suddenly felt better. It was very gradual. And I enjoyed all her little funny, cute ways, spending time alone with her, buying things for her. And I would say now I have had, you know, a really close bond, a really close relationship with her. I'm immensely proud of her. I remember at the time of the illness that my mum said to me one day that little baby will make you proud. And in the throes of illness, I said, no, I'll never enjoy this. I'll never be able to do it. And recently at a Christmas concert at school, she stood up on her own and sang a solo. And I just cried, and I couldn't have been prouder of her. And yes, I go through the normal ups and downs of parenthood, but never do I regret having her now. She's the love of my life.